Young men, listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is the single reason why some people rise to greatness while others stay stuck for life. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not even intelligence, it's consistency. The unshakable decision to show up whether you feel like it or not. Every man wants success. When it's exciting, but only a few stay consistent when it's boring, silent, or unseen. That's why so many start strong and disappear. Because the world doesn't reward the man who moves fast once. It rewards the man who moves forward every day, even when no one's watching. You see, the talent can make you impressive for a season, but consistency makes you unbeatable for life. It's the difference between the man who wishes and the man who wins. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need another perfect morning routine. You need to build a discipline so strong that it becomes who you are. When your habits become automatic, when action becomes instinct, that's when success stops being a dream and starts being your identity. So today I'm going to teach you how to force yourself to be consistent until success is automatic. Not through hype, not through luck, but through daily deliberate repetition that rewires your very nature. Because once you master consistency, you'll never need motivation again. Your habits will carry you. Your discipline will guide you, and your success will be inevitable. Every man wants to win, but few are willing to do what winners actually do. Show up when it's inconvenient. The difference between the average man and the exceptional man isn't in his IQ, connections, or natural tent. It's in the quiet and glamorous act of doing the same right thing over and over again until success becomes. Consistency isn't exciting. It's not dramatic. It's not something you can post about on social media. It's repetition in silence. It's discipline when nobody claps. It's waking up early on the mornings when your body begs to sleep in. It's doing one more rep, one more call, one more line of writing, when the easy thing would be to stop. Most people think success is about big breakthroughs. It's not. It's about small, faithful actions that never stop. Every day you're either training yourself to quit or training yourself to endure. You're either building momentum or losing it. Every choice matters because it's shaping who you become. The man who only acts when he feels inspired is a slave to his moods, his emotions control, his destiny. But the man who acts regardless of how he feels becomes the master of his life. He understands that feelings are unreliable, but habits are powerful. You can't control how you feel every day, but you can control what you do every day. The truth is, consistency doesn't demand perfection. It demands persistence. You don't need to be great today. You just need to show up. Because when you show up every day, even at healthiest percent, you'll outperform the man who gives Bifendibider only once a week. Think about it like this. One drop of water does nothing but ling drops falling on thee, same stone, every day. Carve a hole through rock. That's what your habits do. They carve your destiny through repetition in the beginning. Consistency feels like resistance. Your mind revels. It says take a break. One day doesn't matter, but one day becomes two. Two becomes a week, and soon your progress is gone. The truth, every day matters because you're never standing still. You're either moving closer to your dream or drifting away from it. The world is full of talented men who never made it. Not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked follow-through. They stopped showing up. They stopped trusting the process. And when life got uncomfortable, they surrendered. But those who persist, those who show up through the storms, they become unstoppable. They learn that consistency is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. At first, every repetition feels heavy, but eventually it becomes automatic. And when it becomes automatic, that's when you've won not just the battle, but the war. Discipline is the bridge between your desire and your destiny. You can have the dream, the plan, the vision, but without the bridge, you'll never cross the gap. And here's the hard truth. No one can build that bridge for you. You must lay each brick yourself every morning, every choice, every action. So ask yourself, do you want to be the man who acts only when life feels easy? Or the man who acts because he's decided who he is? Because the man who stays consistent doesn't chase success. He becomes success. And when you become success, everything you desire begins to find its way to you naturally, automatically, inevitably. At first, consistency feels like a burden, a weight you have to carry every single day. You have to push yourself to wake up early, to stay focused, to do what others won't. It feels forced, uncomfortable, and unnatural. But over time, what once required effort becomes effortless. What once felt like discipline starts to feel like you. This is the real secret of success. When discipline transforms into identity, when you no longer have to push yourself to act because acting with purpose has become your nature. Most people fail because they treat discipline like a temporary project. They try to be consistent until it feels inconvenient, and then they stop. But the ones who rise, the ones who reach greatness, don't try. They decide. They decide that discipline is not what they do, but who they are. Imagine this: a builder who pours concrete only when the weather feels nice. His foundation would crumble. But the builder who pours every day, rain or shine, creates a fortress. The same law applies to your life. Every day you pour another layer of foundation, a new habit, as strong a mindset, a deeper level of commitment. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It guards your goals from chaos. It shields your dreams from your weaker impulses. When you act with discipline, you're building walls around your purpose, so distractions can't get in. But here's the part no one tells you. The moment you commit to being consistent, life will test you. It will throw you distractions, delays, and doubts. You'll face days when nothing seems to work, when no one notices your effort, when quitting seems logical. That's when your identity must speak louder than your emotions, because identity is stronger than motivation. Motivation fades, fluctuates, but identity endures. If you tell yourself, I'm trying to be disciplined, you're leaving space to fail. But when you declare, I am a disciplined man, you close that door completely. You're not negotiating with your feelings anymore. You're obeying your nature. Every action you take casts a vote for the kind of man you believe you are. Each morning you get up early. Each workout you complete, each promise you keep, that's a vote for the identity you're building. And over time, those votes accumulate into certainty. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to respect yourself. And that self-respect becomes the fuel that drives you forward. You no longer need outside validation because the proof is in your habits. You've seen yourself follow through. You've witnessed your own growth. You can count on yourself, and that is the deepest confidence any man can have. The undisciplined man depends on luck. The consistent man creates it. He understands that fortune favors the man who is faithful to his work. When you anchor your habits to your identity, consistency stops being a struggle. It becomes your standard. You no longer have to wake up and decide whether to act. The decision has already been made, written into your character. So stop chasing motivation. Stop waiting for inspiration. Start building the identity of a man who simply does the work. Because once your actions and identity align, success is no longer something you pursue. It's something you embody. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. Once you have it, success feels effortless. But without it, even simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. Most people never reach their goals because they keep stopping and starting forever. You're resetting instead of progressing. The secret is not speed, it's sustained movement. Consistency is the engine that builds momentum. Every small action, repeated daily, creates a rhythm, and that rhythm becomes your power. You don't need giant leaps. You just need to stop, stopping the moment you break the chain. Momentum and restarting always costs more energy than keeping the motion alive. Think of it like pushing a heavy wheel. In the beginning, it's almost impossible to move. Every push feels like a battle. But once the wheel begins to turn, each new push becomes easier. Eventually, the wheel spins on its own, powered by the momentum you built through effort and patience. That's how success works. At first, your progress is invisible. It feels like nothing is changing. But under the surface, you're building strength, discipline, and skill. Then one day, everything clicks. You look back and realize that what once drained you now drives you. What once felt like resistance now feels like rhythm. But here's the danger. Momentum is fragile. Stop pushing even for a short while and the wheel slows down. Miss one day, and it's easy to miss two. Miss a week, and you've got to start all over again. That's why protecting your streak is sacred, even on your worst days. Do something, anything to keep the chain unbroken. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for persistence, because imperfect consistency beats perfect inconsistency every time. One of the easiest ways to keep momentum alive is to eliminate friction. Set up your environment so that doing the right thing is effortless. Prepare your clothes the night before. Keep your workspace ready. Make starting so easy that your mind has no excuse to resist. The mind loves comfort. It will always look for reasons to delay. It whispers, you can do it tomorrow, or you've done enough, but you must act before your mind has time to argue. Action silence doubt. Once you move, your emotions fall in line. Understand this momentum is emotional energy. Every time you follow through, you gain confidence. Every time you break your word, you lose it. The more you keep promises to yourself, the faster your internal engine grows. That's how small habits turn into unstoppable force. You can also amplify momentum by stacking habits. For example, if you exercise in the morning, pair it with journaling right after. If you read before bed, review your goals immediately after reading. Linking positive behaviors creates chains of success, each one fueling the next. But the most important part of momentum is awareness. Pay attention to your energy, your focus, your state of mind. Don't wait until motivation fades to restart. The key is to adjust, not abandon when your schedule changes or your workload increases. Modify your approach, but never stop. Because momentum doesn't care about how you feel. It only responds to what you do. You either feed it or starve it. And once you've built it, once the fire starts burning, you'll understand a truth. Most people never grasp success isn't about working harder than everyone else. It is about never stopping long enough to cool down, keep the motion alive, protect the rhythm. And soon, what once required your willpower will be powered entirely by momentum. Every man loves the idea of success, the praise, right? The freedom, the lifestyle. But what separates the dreamers from the doers isn't excitement. It's their ability to master the boring work. Let's face it, greatness is not built in moments of inspiration. It's built in silence through the dull, repetition of small, consistent actions. The successful man understands this truth deeply. Boredom is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're finally doing something that matters. When you repeat the same habits day after day, your mind will rebel. It will say, "This is too monotonous. You've done enough. You deserve a break." But that voice is not truth. It's resistance. The very boredom you feel is the proof that you're building discipline. It means your actions are moving from effort to automation. Think about the elite athlete, the top investor, the master craftsman. None of them chase excitement. They chase mastery. And mastery is found in routine. It's doing the same drills, right? Reviewing the same data, refining the same process, long after the excitement has worn off. Boredom is the test that weeds out the weak. It's the invisible wall between amateurs and professionals. Most people fail not because the task is too hard, but because it's too repetitive. They crave novelty instead of progress. But success doesn't come from constant change. It comes from consistency within. Change. There's a reason bamboo takes years to sprout above ground. During those early years, all growth happens beneath the surface. Roots are forming unseen but essential. The same is true for your habits. For a long time, it will feel like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, your character is hardening. Your resolve is strengthening, and your identity is solidifying. You must learn to fall in love with the process, not the applause. If you depend on excitement to keep you going, you'll quit the moment things get quiet. But when you learn to find satisfaction in simply keeping your word to yourself, right? That's when you gain real power. Here's the paradox. The more you embrace the boring work, the less boring it becomes because your focus shifts from doing to becoming. Every repetition becomes a meditation. Every small task becomes a declaration. I am the kind of man who follows through. When you stop chasing stimulation and start chasing growth, you step into a rare league of men. The world may not notice you right away,